Welcome to Mastering Terror, Episode 8, Vampfire Terrormancer. So this one is going to be a bit different from what I normally do. It's going to be tankier, and while the basic job of spreading conditions and casting fears is the same, you're going to be in the heat of the battle a bit more than normal. I put this together with the idea of playing with an organized team for serious competitive arena play with people that you know are watching your back and are relying on you for condition cleansing and healing. This is what I would personally play if I was still playing competitive matches. How well it holds up in Pug is based around what type of Pug you get, and we all know how that can go. Using Blood Magic over Spite or Death Magic, this build offers a lot of team support, it's fairly survivable, it puts out a lot of condition pressure and has some good reversal of fortune abilities. It can also spread a lot of conditions itself, and a build like this or similar to this could really work extremely well in an organized arena. So in this footage here, you see I am running Spectral Walk because this is a pickup group, but if this was organized, I would definitely be going with Plague Signet. Okay, let's start with traits. Mark of Evasion leaves a Mark of Blood when you dodge roll. Here I picked Quickening Thirst, mainly because of the movement speed, as this build will not be using Spectral Walk, but also because of the dagger skill recharge is nice, especially for Deathly Swarm. Vampiric siphons health when you strike a foe. Here I chose Vampiric Persistence. This siphons health through attacks for not just you, but for allies in a radius of 600 around you. Last Rites prevents your allies from bleeding out in a down state and also grants you healing power based on your current health. The potential of this is pretty amazing because Vampiric Presence applies to you and your teammates' downstate skills as well. Here I'm going with Unholy Martyr, which removes conditions from allies every 3 seconds while in Death Shroud and helps you maintain your life force by doing so. Gluttony increases life force by 10%. To clarify what this means, a skill like Necrotic Grasp, which gives you 3% life force, will now give you 3.3% life force. Here I chose Soul Marks to make staff marks unblockable and generate life force. Last Gasp activates Spectral Armor when your health drops below 50%. Fear of Death. Your fear's effect duration are increased by 50% and also cast an AoE fear when entering a down state. That part of the ability is on a 90-second cooldown. Strength of Undeath allows you to do 5% more damage and increases life force while your life force remains above 50%. Here I'm going with Dhummfire. Just be careful not to neglect your bleed stacks. However, you will be able to cast a lot more Life Blast in this Terrormancer build because of life force gained through Unholy Martyr. In Curses, Bard Precision has a 33% chance to inflict bleeding on crits. Here I'm going with Plague Sending, which autocasts Plague Signet on crit as long as you maintain 3 conditions on the target. Furious Demise grants Fury when entering Death Shroud. Here, of course, I'm taking Terror, which makes Fear deal damage. Target the Weak increases crit chance for each condition you have on your foe. This really works well when you put it together with Bard Precision and Plague Sending. Here I'm going with Weakening Shroud. This causes Enfeeble while entering Death Shroud, and that applies an AoE bleed and weakness in a small area around you. While this trait has not been very popular with me in the past because of its 240 radius, in this build you're going to want to stay closer to your teammates than normal so that your Vampiric Presence and Unholy Martyr can do their thing. And using Rabid Amulet and the Blood School magic, you're going to be a lot tankier than other Terrormancer builds, so I think this is the best option for an organized team. But I still recommend you don't run into the middle of a big melee. Depending on how things shape up, I actually really think this Necro build, or one similar to it, could make it into the meta status of the game for arena teams. I'm probably going to regret making that comment. But anyway, looking at the utility bar, we have Fleshworm, Corrupt Boon, and Plague Signet. So we are missing our speed boost. We make up for the speed boost with the blood trait, Quickening Thirst. So we don't really feel the effects of losing Spectral Walk other than the extra teleport, as Plague Signet is also a stun breaker. I am running Rune of Nightmare as I do with all of my Terrormancer builds, but looking at the way Rune of Undead works with Rabid Amulet, it's worth pointing out. And I'm choosing Rabid Amulet here not so much for the toughness, because personally I prefer the vitality, but for the precision, as this really works well with the traits Bard Precision, Furious Demise, and Target the Weak. Sigils, well, you know I'm going to say energy on both, but other good options are Agony, Bursting, and Geomancy. This brings to a close another episode of Mastering Terror. Thank you for watching.